This is my presentation on the comparative analysis of the commencement speeches of Oprah Winfrey and Steve Jobs performed at Leland Stanford Junior University. Oprah Winfrey did a beautiful job. From her introduction, making a personal connection to the audience about her humorous story of her goddaughter Kirby, to her effective delivery using eye contact, appropriate gestures, and a lot of smiling. Her vocal variations were quite impressive, from her B.B. King impersonation to her repetition, "Away, Stanford," and her father's funny saying, "Without that degree, I don't know what you're gonna do." She also led credibility to this speech because she did receive her degree and she knew she needed it no matter what she did. She was articulate, she was credible, and she was humorous. Next is Steve Jobs' speech. He was a wonderful speaker. He came across very natural. His rate of words wasn't too fast. He provided personal anecdotes and a dramatic story, but he kept it brief, and all of it tied in to the commencement, where the audience is the main part. He talked about his college life in the beginning, and how even though he didn't get his degree, he could not have done many of the things that made him so successful in Mac, which Windows just copied, if it had not been for the classes he had picked in college. His repetition was stay foolish, stay hungry, and stay foolish. Although Oprah is a wonderful public speaker, she is far from perfect. Her main problem with this speech was its length. She talked for 30 minutes straight, and not only that, she was going off and on subject, even though she said she would make it short. Every time you looked at the audience, they were fanning themselves with their papers because they're out in the sun. She happened to have a fan, but the audience didn't, and you could see that they wanted her to finish. Another thing was the books hidden under the chairs. While that is a wonderful gesture, I think Oprah should have hidden everybody's diplomas under their chairs and said the line, "And you get a diploma, and you, and you, and you," just like off of her TV show. I did have a few problems with Steve Jobs' speech, such as he didn't really use gesturing except for to stroke his chin. He stayed monotone the whole time, never varying it. Whether he was talking about a sad or a happy story, he kept it completely the same tone. Another problem was his appearance. He did not look like he had shaved. There's something on his hand that's distracting me. And I think that when the audience was cheering, he should have acknowledged it and waited for them to finish instead of talking through it. The last point is that he said college was a waste of money, and the fact that he was a dropout and never went back to get his diploma, even though he was here at their commencement speech, which is supposed to praise them for all their hard work. He was actually showing them that the diploma didn't matter. Though both of them are experienced, excellent public speakers, Steve's commencement speech communicated the message better because he felt genuine in his stories and because it sent the message that all their hard work will mean something one day, which is the point of the commencement speech. He clearly and concisely told them never to underestimate the knowledge they gathered at Stanford, for one day it will be useful in ways they can never imagine. He also kept his speech brief, using only half the time Oprah did, which I'm sure the hot audiences appreciated. On the other hand, Oprah's written speech is better because it is longer and her stories are elaborated. Her embellishments read like a novel and are better appreciated somewhere with air conditioning. After all, she told multiple separate stories, whereas Mr. Jobs used his one story to tell his life. In the end, I would say overall that if I had a choice, I would invite Steve Jobs to make our graduating speech himself and place Oprah's congratulatory speech in a very honored place in my bookshelf where it would stand out and be noticed by visitors.